Snipers, you have to see what's happening to the Bitcoin price today as we are potentially forming a very bullish pattern as an inverse head and shoulder. And if we were to break out above the weekly open, there is a potential we could see Bitcoin see new all-time highs. I want to talk about exactly how this pattern would play out, and then we'll take a look at what's happening to Ethereum, because you can see here we do have a similar inverse head and shoulder pattern forming here, and if this were to break out, we could potentially see new all-time highs with Ethereum. We all know that the S&P 500 closed the week over and above the weekly open already. So as futures markets open today, the question is Bitcoin going to see this bullish pattern play out above the weekly open at 57,300 and for us to break out to new all-time highs? You guys are watching the Snipers channel. If you appreciate this content, remember to like this video. My name is Naeem and I want to quickly dive into what's happening to the volume, because you can see here with Bitcoin, we are seeing a rise in sell pressure as we approach futures markets opening today, and realize that at this point, just like we talked about on the 4-hour Ichimoku cloud, we have yet to get a confirmation of a breakout. We are still seeing price action below the Ichimoku cloud, and now we are heading towards the apex of this symmetrical triangle. And so we really have to watch price action as futures markets open, because if Bitcoin is able to maintain price action above 54,000 US dollars, there is a potential we could start to test the resistance of this triangle. If we get above there, the confirmation of a breakout, in my opinion, is going to be Bitcoin coming above the weekly open at 57,300. And if you see the S&P 500, as soon as we got above the weekly open, we saw massive bullish pressure, and we've yet to see that type of price action for Bitcoin. But we all know that this is a very closely correlated market to the S&P 500, so we want to watch for this potential inverse head and shoulder pattern forming for the Bitcoin price. And on the downside, if we break 54,000, I do believe there could be a more violent breakdown down towards the $49,700 support level. So we also want to watch the $54,000 level, because we are coming towards the end of this triangle. We all know the closer you get to the apex, the weaker the breakout becomes. And so we want to monitor this. We don't know what's going to happen when futures markets open. We want to also see what's going on with the DXY. Of course, we'll cover that later in this video, but we all know that if Bitcoin starts to come up and get above the weekly open, that could be the first sign of a major breakout to new all-time highs. And then when we look at what's happening to Ethereum, you can see we do have a similar inverse head and shoulder pattern forming here. I am still watching the 1760 level. That is right near 1783, which is also the weekly open. So a very similar confirmation will come if Ethereum is able to get above the weekly open. And we all know with Ethereum 2.0 and with EIP 1559 coming, Ethereum could be a very lucrative asset as it becomes a deflationary asset. And so we know that with the Ethereum to Bitcoin chart, we have yet to really break this major support level. If we come to test this one more time, that could be a potential entry for Ethereum. If we break this major support level, 29,000 Satoshis, I know is a major support. And so we can expect to see some sort of a bounce there. You can see here, we double bottomed at 29,000 Satoshis in January, and so that would be a major support level for the Ethereum to Bitcoin price. And once we get above the weekly open of 31,000 Satoshis, that's when I would expect some bullish momentum for Ethereum. So far though, we are below the 3 daily moving averages, and so we have to keep that in mind. And there is a potential death cross coming here with this 50-day moving average almost coming down towards this 200-day moving average. If this were to cross over, that would be considered a death cross, of course. So we want to monitor what's happening to Ethereum. Altcoins are doing very well. You can see coming back towards the weekly open, they've been doing the best in the markets so far over the last week, and really over the last 3 months since the start of this year. Altcoins have done extremely well, and so we can still expect that as more projects come into play. And then Bitcoin dominance still having a cup of coffee at the weekly and monthly open, which is right now a major support level. And with traditional markets in the DXY, what I'm watching for as futures markets open is the DXY going to be able to maintain the 92.62 support level? If it does, we could potentially see strength in the DXY. We wanted to monitor this resistance level last week, but we've yet to break that. So if we start to come up towards this resistance level. We have to see whether or not this is going to break, because if it does, that could signal more downside in traditional markets. But so far, we do have a potential resistance that could take us below 92.62. If that's the case, that would be very good for Bitcoin and the S&P 500, because the next support will be at 91.92, and then we also have the weekly open there for the DXY, and that could buy us some time. So we do have to monitor this, because we all know on the daily chart, we're also testing this as a support, the 200-day moving average, which is a major level. So if we continue further up, that could be a sign that next week won't be the best for Bitcoin and traditional markets. So we want to monitor this as futures markets open today. But so far, the S&P 500 gave us a clue that Bitcoin was going to see upside, and that ended up being true with this extremely bullish candle with a very nice tail here, closing above the weekly open, almost towards the previous all-time high. And so we know, being a closely correlated market, we have to watch the S&P 500. And with that being said, guys, I do want to give away one of my favorite books on value investing principles by Ray Dalio. If you want to enter into this giveaway, just comment below and share this video. I'll pick a winner from our video yesterday. I haven't chose a recent comment, so let's do Wade Miller. He says, "I'm a simple man. I see bulls, I press like." Go ahead and send me a message on Instagram. The link is in the description below. You won Principles by Ray Dalio. And with that being said, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Let's monitor this symmetrical triangle, because we don't know how this is going to play out. But if it plays out the way we want, the weekly open would be that confirmation. If we start to see downside, we have to watch $54,000. And with that being said, thank you so much for watching this video. Until next time, snipers out.